Mark Madsen and Vinc Pichel. I mean, the thing I love about this fight is you're going to see two incredibly high caliber athletes take on, each other in such an early prelim, right? So for Mark Madsen, we know about the Olympic history, that the wrestling is there, the Greco-Roman, aspect to his game. And the big thing you want to take away from that Clay Guida fight, I mean, is not only that both guys didn't even care to go for a takedown. It was a pure striking battle of two guys who love to grapple, but yeah, I think that the fact that he wasn't breathing too heavy at the end there, he was able to mix up his combinations very well. You can tell that he does enjoy working out of that clinch grip. I mean, whether it's strikes or setting up takedowns, I mean, he throws a lot of knees. He's got this nice uppercut that he throws while holding the head in there. So it's a lot of clinch work and staying in that phone booth. But you talk about a guy like Vinc Pichel, and with Pichel, I just think that that's actually where you don't want to be in this fight. I think that he's going to be a lot more powerful than a Clay Guida, and he might not throw as much volume or that energy at you as much, but I think that when he throws with intent. He's got good accuracy. And like I said, the power aspect of it is a big deal for me. I mean, Clay Guida was able to drop Madsen at some points in that fight, and Madsen ended up recovering and then slowly took over and won the second and third rounds. But the way I see it is this fight's just got, just that puncher's opportunity there in the early parts of the fight. But, the thing about Pichel that stands out so hard in his fights is even in the fights that he wins, he gets taken down a ton. 25% takedown defense tells me that he's got good get-up game. He's able to get to the fence really quickly and find his way to his feet. He's even used, good scrambles and reversals to get out of those positions. But at the end of the day, he's still getting taken down that much. And with a guy who's seen Olympic level wrestling and Greco-Roman, accolades, it's just, for me, that is such a red flag. And I think that if Madsen had the right game plan going into this fight, it would be really hard for me not to see him utilize some of that wrestling a bit. Because with Pichel, I mean, every fight you watch of his, it's start a little slow, but the power shots are there, so you end up doing a little bit of damage regardless. And then it's like he's slowly taking over. He might even look a little tired himself, but the amount of damage he does and the power that he has and just the all-around ability, right? You don't see him too much in bad places like off his back, taking ground and pound and that kind of thing. Even in the losses, when you think about the level of fighters that he was taking on, it's it goes to show a little bit of where we've seen Pichel come and go, and where in the rankings he's been trying to kind of penetrate a bit. So in this case, you just have that question mark of can Pichel withstand any type of takedown and long-term control time from Madsen, and vice versa. Can Madsen avoid any of those power shots, not eat too many combos and some of those body shots that Pichel's really put away guys, especially after starting slow and maybe even losing the round in the beginning. Like, that's the stuff that you really see from Pichel a lot. And in that case, I really do want to go with Madsen as a minus 125 favorite here. I mean, you talk about the Guida fight. We took him as a Super Saiyan in that fight. It was still a split decision win. Such a close fight. And for me, I think this is going to be hella close. And I'm actually leaning Pichel right now as a pick. The only reason I think that is because on the feet, he should be able to do some serious damage. Just based on the power that he brings, the footwork he uses. He switches up really well. He's kind of like a bigger Cub Swanson when you look at him, right? Those are the areas where, I just think he's going to be able to avoid the phone book, where Madsen tends to use that clinch work to just develop his knee strikes and uppercuts and good strikes in the clinch to then maybe work it to the ground. So let's go with Madsen as a minus 125 here. I think it does make sense. Both of these guys have fights against Hubbard. You look at the way that, they both kind of utilize their game plan against him. It's kind of how you see this going in the same light. So let's take a look here, and boom, there it is. Minus 150 open for Madsen, so we were right on the money there. But this switch, so Pichel opens up as a plus 130 underdog, and now he's as high as a minus 140 favorite. I mean, that's the ultimate test here. And if there's one thing I'm starting to learn when we spend this much time, analyzing fights and even trying to make money off of it, the flopping of lines and how close some of these fights are, despite how much you think someone's going to win, you have to face the reality that this is such a close fight, that this flip-flopping, as much as you might think that Madsen's wrestling and his ability to, take advantage of that 25% takedown defense is there, The same can be said for Pichel's ability to keep this fight standing, at least in the beginning, to just do serious amounts of damage and then slowly just avoid those areas, get back to his feet if he needs to. There's a good chance the referees are going to stand this up if there's not a lot of action either. So that's going to be a crazy fun fight. I think it's a little too early on the card, but again, there's a lot of shifting going on. So some guys did end up getting the short end of the stick, but outside of that, very excited. And I think the fight's just going to get crazy from here.